What's up, people? It's Teenage Girl 30 here, and I know that I have not done a video in a very long time, and pretty much it's because, well, let's face it, Smackdown as well as Raw has sucked. But I have found some little positive little points that I actually did see when I watched Smackdown today, and yes, I did watch Smackdown. The thing about it is I have decided to be a real fair and just reviewer about this entire thing, and just because Smackdown has been sucking as of late, I am not in any way, shape, or form just going to be judgmental, but every single Smackdown is going to come on. Now, the one thing I can definitely say is that I actually did like John Cena's promo. I did. Because let's face it, everybody's been thinking it. Everyone that has ever done a review has been thinking the same thing about Dolph Ziggler. Is he ready for the big time? He claims that he can hang out with the big boys, but can he really do it? Is he hiding behind the Money in the Bank briefcase? Is he hiding behind Vicky Guerrero? He pretty much is. But the one thing I can say about Dolph Ziggler is, does anybody really notice what he said, what they say on his shirt? You know, stealing the show and stealing your girlfriend. Can we say foreshadowing? Possible foreshadowing? Maybe he's going to be snatched up by AJ. Maybe the whole reason for this hostility in this feud is because he has a crush on AJ. Maybe. I don't know. But it seems like this thing's a little bit rinse and repeat, because hasn't this been done before? Yes, with Chris Jericho and Stephanie. It's been done before, but I have to say that I am a little bit intrigued of what the outcome of this entire thing is going to be. So it's not really all that bad, in my opinion. But the one thing I can also say is that, as usual, the matches are spot on. It's never any problem with the matches at all. It's a problem with the storytelling. It's a problem with the external storyline. The internal storyline can pretty much straighten itself out, but the external storyline is what the biggest problem is. But besides all that, the one thing I can say is that yes, it was a Smackdown that was taped previously in Louisiana, but it did seem to me that the crowd was a little bit hyped up. Sure, I'll be naive to say that they didn't doctor with the actual crowd's noise and everything, and they probably put a whole lot of yays and whatever with John Cena came out. But it honestly really does seem to me that it's a possibility that they really do have fans of John Cena down there, maybe. And not to mention the fact that the Usos really did get people crunk. I don't know, but it's really difficult to say unless you're there live. So if anybody's out there that was actually there or knows someone that's there, let me know in the comment section below, and whether or not the crowd was really this hyped up. Because it really does seem like the crowd was pretty live, but it's hard to say. They probably messed with the tapes. It kind of makes me interested a little bit in some of these factions, and actually I am going to do a video that's going to be separate about this, about the Shield versus the Aces and Eights, because I'm really feeling that yes, as of late we have the WWE and TNA pretty much giving each other shout outs in a bad way, or pretty much mocking each other back and forth. But if you can honestly think about it, this might be a good thing, because I really do feel that they're actually bringing out the more positive points of TNA. For example, the most popular segment of TNA is the gut check segment. They bring out the newest stars, the latest people that have their matches, and then when they actually do win, they actually have them involved in open fight night. But as you can see with WWE, the stars from NXT, as well as the stars that are pretty much either in the mid-card or below mid-card, are getting shown a lot more. Especially the tag team division. I really do feel that this may be a positive turn, not pretty much as for a company overall, but for the people involved. Like the mid-card, they may give them a lot more showtime. So honestly, I really don't consider this to be a bad thing just now, just as late. But I have to say that the beginning match was, in my opinion, pretty much the main event, because John Cena and Alberto Del Rio went on a very long time. I was actually just interested, like, okay, is the main event supposed to be Sheamus and Dolph Ziggler, or John Cena and Alberto Del Rio, which really doesn't have anything to do, and that kind of makes me sad. They really don't have any feud for Alberto Del Rio. They really don't have anything for him to do except being Rosa Mendez's possible boy toy. But I don't know. But I'm not going to be negative here. It's a given what we're actually thinking negatively. But I have to say, there are a few things in SmackDown that really does intrigue me, and I'm actually looking forward to see how it's going to progress from there. The main event was pretty much set up for the whole John Cena and Dolph Ziggler feud, as well as Sheamus and Big Show feud, and that's a feud that has been done right, in my opinion, because it really does have a lot of emotion outside and inside the ring. So whoever is pretty much doing their feud is doing a good job, because it's making you more emotionally invested in their feud. But it makes me feel like this feud is probably going to continue to Royal Rumble, so the thing is, they have to figure out a way to stretch it out. But all in all, I have to say that this show really has a couple of things that interest me, especially 3MB. You can mock them all they want, mock them all you want, but the fact is that their gimmick happens to be working. They're actually getting more airtime day in, day out. For crying out loud, Heath Slater was considered a complete mockery. I mean, there was really no rhyme or reason for him to be out there at all. Jinder Mahal was considered more of an Arab than an Indian guy. And then you got the chosen one, Drew McIntyre, who was completely mocked and disgraced every single night. They formed 3MB. These guys are starting to become popular as heels. They're starting to have matches that they're actually winning. This is a good thing for them. So in a way, it's really great to see matches between him and the Usos, because the Usos need their airtime in a good match, and 3MB can put on a good match with the Usos. So either or, it's a win-win for both people. For both groups. So I'm honestly all for that, and I'm really hoping that they actually start a feud with 3MB for them to actually be noticed a lot more. As for Team Hell No, they're really starting to become stale very, very fast. And it's because Kane had an edge for being a monster. Daniel Bryan had an edge for being a heel. But Daniel Bryan is more like a child than anything else, and Kane is losing his edge as a monster. So it's really starting to get really old, like the Aces and Eights. And that's something I'm going to mention in another video. But for right now, I have to say that I am really looking forward to certain aspects of SmackDown. I am going to continue to watch SmackDown, but I may not do a review all the time, because if I don't find anything that's interesting to talk about, I'm just not going to go ahead and review it. Or the same thing with Raw. But I have to say that, as usual, you know that the external storylines and the internal storylines is what the WWE really heavily needs to work on in order for people to be emotionally invested in their characters, as well as the way that the feuds are set up. It's not set up in a natural way. It's just kind of thrown in there. And that's one thing that they really do need to work on. But as for certain aspects, certain segments does get your brain going, does get those wheels turning in your mind, which is a good thing. And the fact that they're actually are kind of giving a little mockery shout outs to TNA, it's a positive thing. Because if they're copying them and copying everything that they did the previous show, some of the things that they have done are pretty positive, like the gut check segment, and now they're having their new stars coming out and having matches with them. It's an actual positive thing. So I'm really not going to completely mock that and tear that down. So I have to say that there are some things in SmackDown that have interested me. It wasn't a total wash, and I'm kind of happy that I actually did watch it. But I am actually going to do a video about the Aces and Eights as well as the Shield, and maybe some of the other factions that are starting to build up in the WWE. But either or, like I said, the actual wrestling is pretty solid on the show, and there are some segments that I like, but I'm curious to see what you guys think about this, and I really wouldn't be surprised if I know what the answers are. But either or, leave your comments in the comment section below or send me a video response. I am all for that, and I'm definitely going to listen to anything, any messages or any comments that you guys leave. And if you have any questions for me for a future Q&A, send the Q&As to my YouTube inbox. Thank you guys so much for watching. Merry Christmas to all, and a good night to y'all. This is Nature Girl 30 signing off. Peace out. Later.